Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. And today we have a special guest on, um, somebody who was going on, was wanting to come on, and I asked him to come on and um, uh, talking about making our own movies, talking about taste in movies, and just different ideas that we've had and that we, want to make. Let me send him the link to the show. And anyway, how are you guys doing? Um, I've just been hanging out today. Been hanging out. And yeah, no, we're just going to talk about the different tastes in movies, um, different movies that we like. And like I said, ideas. We have everybody always says, "Oh, I have an idea for a movie," or "That'll be fun." Yeah, we're just going to talk about that and kind of see where we are in some things. Um, Anybody who has ideas or wants to um, talk about movies or has any input or anything, please come on the panel and talk. We'd love to chat and everything. This is first time doing this, so it's an interesting dynamic. Hey, howdy. There we go. Now we got it working.
Cool.
Um, Please, I told the people, whoever watched this, I said we're talking about movies and different ideas and different taste in movies and stuff like that. But please introduce yourself.
Uh, I'm just gonna say now your audio is kind of whack.
Whack.
Yeah.
I'm whack. Hold on, let me see. Did that change any?
Yeah, it made it louder.
Oh, sorry. Is that change any?
Yeah, that's better.
Okay. Anyway, but yeah, um, you are on Instagram. That's the your I put your Instagram handle in the title. So if anybody watches this, that's his Instagram title. I'll put it also in the link in the description below. Go follow him on Instagram. I'm sure he would appreciate that. Or not,
Yeah.
doesn't matter. You can do whatever you want. But but yeah, no, I sent you a message because you're always posting on your timeline about different ideas, different synopsis, and different titles and stuff like that. I always found it interesting, and I always catch myself doing the same thing. What is your preferred genre that you like to lean towards? Like when you're thinking about an idea, what is your preferred genre you tend to go towards? Like horror? What
Uh, I'd say it's horror.
horror?
Uh,
It's a lot of people. A lot of people start that in that genre.
I think horror is easy to, I don't know, think about when it comes to ideas.
Easy to think about. Easy to think about, but um, sometimes could be trouble to, what do you call it, to execute,
Yes.
because a lot of horror movies, some of them try to do the whole "it's so good it's bad" or whatever
Hmm.
thing, and instead of um, putting depth in there, they're just hoping that it'll become like a cult classic or stuff like that, and doing it right and doing something different. That's where a lot of people who didn't have like hits, where movies were not hits when they first came out or
Yeah.
whatever, become cult classics later on because people analyze them and they think about them. And like the Thing was not a hit when it first came out. The John Carpenter's The Thing
Yeah. From
was not,
1981.
81. Yeah, was it 81 or 82? 81, I think.
I'm not sure. I just
I don't know. I have the movie over there. But yeah, no, it's just one of those things that's like it became a sleeper hit. People would watch it and feel disgusted because of all the effects and everything like that. But they really thought about it. They thought about the what do you call it? The seclusiveness of it, and being stuck in a place where you have no help. Like you're stuck in the middle of a frozen wasteland and you have no way to get out of there. That's scary to think about. Maybe not so much you're trying to hide from aliens, but trying
yeah,
to survive the elements. Because their fire, their electricity, their everything goes out. They're all dead. So just having years to think on it has done the movie wonders and how effective it is. But a lot of filmmakers they try to go for they try to do the jump scare thing,
yeah.
and
I don't like that.
yeah, it fucks with my if the experience when you go to the movie theater. Um, it's jarring. I mean,
Mm,
there are certain movies that are jarring, yes, or they use like sound cues. Like a lot of movies from the '70s, they didn't use like '70s and like the '50s and stuff like that.
hmm
They a lot of them didn't rely on the music to do the what do you call it? They didn't have the budget to do the music for the movie to give
Yeah.
it that score like Halloween or um, like Friday the 13th and stuff like that.
hmm
Like they had somewhat of a score that kind of went along with the movie, and they just relied on the feeling, the tension with the raw tension you get on screen without any loud musical cues and stuff like that. And that's more scarier than you have really loud of music and it just I think this effective. There's what better ways to be effective than loud music in those kind of movies.
Speaking of which, my favorite horror movie is Texas Chainsaw Massacre,
Yeah.
and it doesn't have jump scares in it. It doesn't.
No,
It doesn't have loud music in it.
right. It
Yeah,
it
so
has an unsettling atmosphere,
exactly.
and that's more effective than than just a bunch of loud music and everything. And plus, that movie not only was it scary to think about these people are getting cut up and everything, but just the area they're around, it's kind of like desolate in a way,
hmm
where they're like in the middle of nowhere. They're in the middle of Texas, in the middle of nowhere. They have no help. You can't get gas. During that time of the movie, it was a gas. I don't know if there was a gas shortage
hmm
or whatever, but there was something going on with the gas. So a lot of gas stations were closed,
Yeah.
and so these people when they run out of gas they're kind of stuck, and so the idea of that, and not only that but there's these people going around killing people, cutting off their faces and stuff like that.
Mm.
I mean that's kind of scary to think about. I think anybody who's ever people who come to Texas or people who are from up north or whoever, when they come to Texas they're like, oh, they get scared because that's who they think the people who are around here are, which is not true at all.
Yeah. They uh movies make fun of people from here too, and
Right,
it's
Louisiana, because
hmm
sorry I should say you're in Louisiana, right?
yes,
You have movies like Hatchet. The
yeah,
Hatchet right here takes place in Louisiana,
New Orleans,
New Orleans. Yes, talks about the Bayou, and it kind of makes fun of the whole the Bayou Cajun like accent and stuff like that with one of the characters
yeah,
and everything. Um, but also has that kind of down home, makes fun of the people down there, like the people are kind of stupid or whatever. Because there's a couple characters in that movie they pretend or they're acting stupid or whatever, or they're not educated or something like that.
I think maybe that movie is, uh, yeah, it's a good example of the cliches of Southern people.
Right. Um, I watched the new Forever Purge movie
hmm
that just came out,
Yeah,
and they're in Texas, and they try to imitate. There's people who are definitely not from the South who try to imitate people from the South, and it just
mm,
becomes a parody of what they're trying to do. Like doing the real thick Southern accent is has become common among new movies. They're like,
Yeah.
I'm from Texas. Like nobody from Texas says they're from Texas. Then it's just fucking it's annoying. And
Very.
I can imagine that anywhere. Well, I think every state has their own pride about themselves, and Texas is one of them. People who are from like New York and stuff like that, we make fun of people from New York, like, hey, I'm walking here, and stuff like that. People from up north say, yeah, I'm from Texas and ride my horse, you know, and so it can get kind of lost in translation and become a parody of itself in a lot of ways. Hi, Ghost 541. How you doing? Do you have anything you want to talk about on the stream that we can bounce? Ghost, he's in Kentucky, or he's in Kansas right now, but he's in Kentucky. He's a young viewer, and he really likes Jaws. That's one of his favorite movies. I don't know if it is his favorite movie or one of his favorite movies. But yeah, I think even Jaws, they even poke fun of people from up north, like people from that area where they don't use their R's, so
Mhm.
their R's become as. And so, like, they even quote the movie. He's like, "Not talk too far from the car," and everything. And yeah, it's become a parody of itself. But there's a lot of people who started off in horror. Sam Raimi,
Yeah.
uh, he did the Evil Dead movies, um, and you have people like um, John. I don't know, John Carpenter. Was Halloween his first movie? I think Halloween was his first movie.
He had a thriller movie actually before, not a thriller, but a action movie, I guess you could say.
What was before that?
It's called Assault on Precinct 13.
Oh, I've heard of that. Yeah, I've heard of that.
It's a 70s movie. I'm not sure if it came before or after Halloween.
Right. Well, Halloween came out in '78, so it'd probably be earlier, unless it was like '79 or like right in the middle, right there.
He he
Um,
al-
Go ahead. Sorry.
he also had a sci-fi movie actually called Dark Star.
Dark Star.
Yeah.
Or, Steven Spielberg. That's how he got his start with movies like that. He did a movie called Duel. It's
I've
about
seen it
you've seen
actually.
it, yeah.
Yeah.
And it's not really a horror movie. Like there's no like serial killer or anything like that. It's a more of a thriller than anything.
A
Like this,
very road thriller for sure.
yeah, road thriller. Yes, sure, Ghost. If you have a question, please ask. And yes, Ghost, he has a cool mask. I don't know if you're gonna do an unboxing of that on your channel. Um, you got him a cool mask. Um, but that's how a lot of filmmakers get their start. Uh, let's say Scorsese didn't do that, but there's a lot of people who do that. Barry Sonnenfeld, he did a lot of kind of thriller esque movies, and I wouldn't say he didn't do horror, but um, what's his name? Martin Scorsese.
Mhm.
He didn't do horror, but he did movies that were more thriller based. Like there is definitely some hint of danger. Like there's definitely a sense of danger. Like you're a sense of worry when you're watching the movie. Like your movies like Goodfellas. I'm sure you've seen Goodfellas, right?
Well, I I've seen Goodfellas, but not all the way through,
Okay.
and I'm not a fan of it. But I like Taxi Driver though.
Taxi Driver. Yeah, that's one of the ones I was gonna say. Taxi Driver. You meet this character. He's kind of this quiet guy, and then you think he's gonna go on a revenge
Hmm.
spree, or you think you don't know what he's gonna do, and the movie keeps you in. It keeps you in suspense on what this character is gonna do because you know what he's thinking. You know that he doesn't like the people around him. He thinks the city is terrible, and
Hmm.
everything. So you don't know exactly what he's gonna do, but then he becomes the hero in the end, and then so you root for what he's doing, but you don't know it didn't know exactly. It wasn't spelling it out for you until the final ending. And the movie is great. I
Very.
think the movie's great. I think the movie's great. I told Duck, I have a friend that I do my show with on here, and I said I would watch a sequel to Taxi Driver. I know that sounds like stupid to do a sequel to Taxi Driver, but I would watch the movie if it was a sequel with an older Robert De Niro,
Hmm.
but it was trying to him trying to save the daughter of Jodie Foster or something, like basically the same thing as Taxi Driver, but he's trying to save the daughter and he's trying to do it at like 70 or 80 years old,
And
you know.
the thing is though, would he still be driving a taxi, or
I don't I don't know. He was driving at the end of the movie.
yeah, that's
Spoiler
true.
spoiler alert, I guess, if you haven't seen the movie, but the movie's over 40 years old, so um I would assume so. I mean, 70, 80 years old, he's like, most of the actors from that movie are dead. So he like lived. So he lived through all the crap. And New York, it still fucking sucks. I mean, I don't. I mean, I'm saying that in the nicest way possible. New York still sucks, but it is not as bad as it was probably back then. Because
Yeah,
back then it was a lot. It was really bad. Like it
that's what
was.
I was gonna say. It was a trashy place for
It was a
sure.
trashy place. It's kind of, what do you call it? It's kind of become more cleaned up, I guess. The they they've really cleaned it up. Or people like, you ever watch the Rob Zombie Joe Rogan podcast? He goes on the Joe Rogan podcast, and he said when he went to New York, he said that it was a completely different atmosphere. And he went in the 80s. I think he
Hmm.
went in the mid 80s, and he said it's a completely different atmosphere, and it's nothing like it is right now. Like he said, places that was like a drug, like people would go into this park and they would like do meth and stuff like that and shoot up heroin and stuff. It's like a farmer's market now. So they've done their best to try to clean it up, but it's still crap.
Yep.
And there's places here in Texas and anywhere in the United States that have those places, but New York is still one of those places that it's cleaned up a lot, but there's still a lot of improvement. But that's the thing, is like it's cleaned up and everything, or the city's gotten better, but there's still those aspects around the area. There's still crime. There's still gangs. There's still a lot of things. And him in a modern setting, with him trying to get away with all the stuff or all the stuff he's trying to do, um, I don't know. I think it would be I think it could be an interesting thriller if the same people like are involved in the movie. Like if Martin Scorsese directs it, that's probably the only way I would watch it if Scorsese directed it. That's what I think.
Yeah, same for me. If anybody else tried to make a sequel to that, I'd probably never see it ever.
Ghost asked the question, "Who was the killer's name in Halloween?" Sorry, we took so long to get to your question, but I was rambling. Who was the killer's name in Halloween? His name was Matthew. Yes, Matthew. That's his name. I'm just kidding. Um, it was Michael Myers. That's who it was. That's who it was. Yes. How do you mind saying how old you are, or is that okay, or not?
Yeah, I'm 18.
18. Me too. Um, I have graduated already. Are you still? You're going to go back to school in the fall?
Yeah, unfortunately.
um, are you graduating this in the class of 22, or was it like, did you get held back or anything like that?
Class of 22, yeah.
Oh, okay. So you just
I
kind of, did you start late or something?
I failed 4th grade.
Oh, oh, I'm not. I'm not gonna laugh at you because I would have failed. I would have failed. Uh, what do you call it? I would have failed my 5th grade year if hadn't my mom talked to the school. So I was in the same boat. I did really bad in school, but I thankfully I graduated. I got a class ring to prove it. Um, that's best $400 you ever spent right there. Um, yes, Ghost is 14, so no cussing on this Christian chat chat room. That's what I'm trying to say. No cussing on this Christian chat room. That's what I'm trying to say. How many times has Michael Myers died in Halloween? Like in the first one, or like in all the Halloween movies?
Quite a few times, right?
Technically, Michael Myers has never died because he's the same character in out every movie. Like it's the same, technically the same continuity throughout every movie. So technically, he never died. He's still alive technically in the 2018 or 20 the 2021 movie that's coming out this year. So technically, he never died. if I'm being a smartass about it. But I guess he's died um, 5 times. I mean, every movie. I guess I don't know.
I want
What
to
would you say?
say from Halloween to whichever one before Rob Zombie's remake of it, in between the first one and the whatever other one before Rob Zombie's.
Halloween
Hell,
Resurrection.
I guess, yeah, I haven't actually seen any of them past that besides 2018. But the 2018 movie is a spiritual sequel to the first movie. So basically, erase all the other ones,
And he's still alive,
and he's
as
still
of we
alive.
know.
And
As
so,
we
how,
yeah.
yeah,
Go ahead. Sorry.
and Halloween Kills would be technically the third one. So it's a trilogy.
Right.
And then we're getting another one after that.
Yeah, which is weird because so he's not gonna die in this. So
No.
there's like it's like going to see the It movie. Like when
Mhm.
I went and saw the It movie in 2017, it's like, oh, there's gonna be another one after this because it he didn't die because obviously you need to have the grown up portion of the movie,
Yeah,
and so it's just another way for them to make money off of 50-year-old property
basically, yeah.
almost. Um, yeah, he was cooked. Yes, he was cooked, but he's still alive in the new one. So I'm really excited. When I went and saw the trailer for that movie in the theater the other day, because it was coming on when I went to watch the Purge movie, it looks awesome. Like it looks good. Like it looks like it's going to be a good movie to go see in theaters. Watching it on the computer because I did a reaction to it on my channel.
Mm.
Watching it on the computer did not do it as much justice as watching it and seeing it on the big screen. Um, maybe that's just me, but it was definitely more visceral seeing it on the 30-foot screen than it is on your computer. So,
Mm.
um, yeah, I am excited to go see it. I know he's probably not going to die, but I think they're going to try to get as many of these movies out before the main actors pass away because all the other actors are Donald Pleasance died in the 90s because he died, I think, Halloween 5. I think it was like Halloween 5 or 6, and then they had H2O, and then they had Resurrection, then all the Rob Zombie ones and everything. But whenever when he died, um, he's dead, and then Jamie Lee Curtis, she's getting up there in age, so I think they're just gonna try to get as many of them in the movie as possible until they can. But, yeah, yes, I guess if you want to say he has died in the movies, but I think in continuity wise, he is still alive. I guess technically, but I hate that they call it Halloween Kills. I don't think that's a good name. This is
Me,
weird.
me neither.
Halloween Kills. Yeah, that's gonna be the tagline for the movie when it bombs in the theaters.
Yeah.
It's be Halloween Kills, literally, and it's gonna be like 0% on Rotten Tomatoes or something like that, which is pretty bad because people will go see those movies. And if you're a horror fan, that's the bad thing about the horror community is there
Mhm.
are people who love crappy movies, like they love to go see those B-rate movies, like I showed you earlier.
Mm.
Just kind of B-rate bargain bin Walmart, $5 bin movies, and then they're like, "Oh wow, this is great! It's well, so bad it's good." No, it's just so bad it's bad. And when it comes to movies like Halloween, which Halloween or Jaws, which are good movies, which were good movies, made for cheap, are held to the same are up there with like the top horror movies like Thanksgiving
Mhm.
and stuff like that. Like Thanksgiving is a bad movie, but people put it up there. It's like, oh, it's one of those horror movies that's like it's so good, it's bad, you know. But um, who would you say is your favorite director, or who do you like look up to when you think about making movies and stuff like that?
Um. Well, you already talked about one of them, Scorsese,
Yeah,
and Quentin Tarantino would have to be the main one
right.
for me.
We're so basic because we're the same person. I have to agree. Smart Scorsese is one of mine, and Tarantino is one of mine as well.
Mm.
Um, I'm starting to collect his movies. I just got a couple more Martin Scorsese movies. I just got Raging Bull and Main Streets,
Yeah.
and I have a couple Tarantino films. I just got the novel of
Once Upon a Time in Hollywood.
yes sir. I just got that. I have not only do I have the movie, the soundtrack, the novel, and I have the poster for it.
Awesome.
Yeah, I'm a bit of a nerd.
I
Um,
actually I saw that in the theater.
you did. I went and saw it too. I was probably the youngest person in the theater.
See, I saw it in the theater with my dad, who doesn't understand uh, Tarantino's love of film,
Right. Yeah. So he
and
was just
so,
kind of like just boring.
yeah, he was bored. And for me, I didn't expect it to be like that. Like
Like
certain things were uh, confusing to me at the time, I guess.
what confused you about it? Like just like some of the references and stuff like that.
Yeah, maybe the references, because at the time I wasn't as big into movies as I am now,
Right.
uh,
Yeah.
and but I've seen it at least two or three more times.
Oh,
So
me too. Like I said, I have my copy on Blu-ray and everything, and it's one of those movies that's like you appreciate it because it's trying to capture a time, and even Tarantino even talks about it. It's trying to capture a time period where film was changing and it was turning a new leaf. Like it was going from the clean cut '60s and the clean cuts '50s and the '60s, like westerns and stuff like that. And it was going to a new leaf, going to that rebel age of movies. People like Peter Fonda and Easy Rider, and then you got movies like Deliverance, and you got a lot of these grindhouse movies, movies like Texas Chainsaw Massacre. It was a different look. The people looked different. It wasn't guys in suits with a clean cut, pompadour, and their hair was slicked back and they were nice and everything. Or was Western where the guys who got nice cowboy hats and they're fighting the Indians and stuff like that. Now you had guys with like long hair and beards, and it was stuff was more psychedelic, and people were experimenting with movies. And he said he thinks that's where it ended when the Sharon Tate murders,
mhm.
the Sharon Tate Charles Manson murders, um, and he thinks that's where it stopped, and it was the turn of a new era. And the movie changed that, um, and it was a different um, outcome. And I think about like what would happen if she didn't die, and you kind of leave the movie thinking about that. And
Mhm.
I think it's a good thing. Um, I'm trying to think. Uh, yeah, Sharon Tate was was murdered and everything, and there was a lot of controversy with that. And Charles Manson, and he was like the warning for kids, the youth in the '60s, and everything. Kids like this is what your kids will succumb to if you let them on a short leash, and they'll go around killing people and stuff like that. And so he kind of served as a warning tale for parents who had their kids growing up at that time,
Yeah.
and the summer of love and the summer of you know it was just a big thing, and it just kind of ended at that point. And I think the movie wraps up really nice. Honestly, I would like to see a sequel to it. Like I could sit through a 5 hour, like I could sit through a 4 hour movie of Quentin Tarantino. If I could see the 4 hour cut of Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, I would.
See, have you read the book already?
I have not. No,
Okay.
is the book more detailed? I'm guessing it is because it's a book.
Well, I haven't read the book, but from what I've read about the book, it does have more details in it, and there's some stuff in the movie that wasn't fully explained that's in the book.
Right, right.
So,
Hey, local legends, how you doing? Um, yeah, this is kind of an impromptu live stream. Gamer girl, how you doing? Um, yeah. Do you have any specific films? Do you watch? Have you seen any films from the '60s that you could think of, or anything that you
uh,
could? Go ahead. Sorry.
I I've seen The Graduate with Dustin Hoffman from 1968, I believe.
It's crazy they
And
got it's crazy they got some of these actors have been around for so long. Because like
mhm.
that was 1968, and he's still doing movies now. Same with De Niro and everything. Go ahead, sorry.
uh, I've seen 2001 Space Odyssey, but I'm not a fan of it.
Was it not? Was it not entertaining, or what did you have an issue with it for?
I
I've
guess it
never seen it, so
I, I guess it was slow,
slow, which makes sense. Makes sense.
and I'm not criticizing Stanley Kubrick or anything, but I'm not a fan of The Shining.
You're not a
E-
fan of the show? I
no,
mean, I can see that. It was a different take on the novel. It's different from what Stephen King had, um, what he had envisioned in his book,
yeah,
and um, it ended at a different pace. Like everybody remembers all the stuff at the end of the movie because that was the most action. That was the most intense part of it. Was like the last 20 minutes of the movie. Probably not even 20 minutes. Probably less than that.
see, the second half of the movie I can watch and enjoy, but not the first half.
Right.
Like it's slow the first half, and then the second half it picks up completely.
I love my fans. See the comment.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I was just kind of like what do you call it? I don't know. I'm just kind of relaxed. But I appreciate the comment. Thank you, but I'm fine. Um, um, but yeah, I think a lot of movies were slow. Or Stanley Cooper, that was his style. Was kind of a slow build up to this, kind of like to build up to the madness. Um, I have watched Hacksaw Ridge. As a matter of fact, I have the movie. Nope, that's not it. Hold on. I have the movie right here. Um, it's one of my favorite horror movies, war movies. Is war movies? Is that anything that you particularly like to watch, or do you kind of like stay away from it?
Uh, my favorite war movie as of now would be Fury with Brad Pitt. Uh,
That's a good one. It's newer, um,
yeah,
but it's newer. Um, it's very something you wouldn't want to take your girlfriend to go see or have it watch with your mom or anything like that. It's very raunchy. It's
yeah.
very vulgar and a lot of problematic stuff in there. A lot of problematic
Um,
stuff.
I planned on watching Apocalypse Now, but there's a 3 hour cut of it, and what I was watching it on, the only cut that was available was the 3 hour one.
Oh no.
So,
Yeah, it's long. It's a long one.
hmm,
Um, it's what do you call it? It's one of those movies that it doesn't need to be that long, but it is, and that's not even a Kubrick movie. That's Coppola, Francis Ford
hmm,
Coppola.
yep,
Um, it's pretty long. I watched it, and I started that at like 12, and I didn't finish it till like 3.
hmm,
So, yeah, it's a long movie. And bad thing is I had to watch it. Like I watched it on Vudu, and it was free on Vudu,
yeah,
and Vudu has free movies with ads,
hmm,
and so every 10 minutes it was like guy getting shot, right, and then it's like try new depends. Like I just want to watch the movie, but I have Apocalypse Now in 4K. Um, do you have a collection of movies that you have? Like I have my DVD collection, then I have my Blu-ray collection over here. Do you have like a good collection of movies, or do you watch a lot of stuff on streaming?
I do have a pretty large collection, I guess you could say. Probably 60 plus movies.
Yeah.
And they're all ones that I specifically like. And
Hmm.
then there are some others that I hate, like for kids and stuff.
Right. I like there's some movies for like there are some movies for kids that I like that I enjoy.
Yeah.
Like I have I got it as a gift, but I got the Goosebumps
Mm.
movie with Jack Black.
Yeah.
Is that one of those movies that you hate or
No,
something?
that is fine, but I wouldn't recommend the sequel to it.
I did not care for the sequel like you, but I like to be a completionist when it comes to having a collection of movies.
Hmm.
So since I don't really need the Blu-ray of Goosebumps 2, so I'll just buy the DVD of it. Like I have the Adams Family movies, the first two Adams Family movies, with Raul Julia
Hmm.
and Christopher Lloyd and all them and Christina Ricci. The Adams Family Values, the animated Adams Family, and the Adams Family Complete series right here. So I have all that. I don't have the 73 cartoon series that they had, which I don't know if you can buy that on a physical media, but I think it is streaming somewhere right now, but I'm not sure exactly where. But there is an Addams Family animated movie 2 coming out, so
I actually
I'll
heard
have to
about
buy that.
I heard about that a few days ago.
Yeah, I didn't see the trailer. I haven't seen the animated movie. I was thinking about going to see it, but I kind of heard, I was like, it was kind of so I didn't go see it. But I have the movie now, and I have the complete series. So for the Adams Family movies, I'll buy them on DVD. Now I did have Terminator, I think it was Genesis, yeah, Terminator Genesis on DVD, but I got the complete or the full Terminator um, series, like the complete set of movies from the original to Dark Fate, and it was at Walmart for like $40, which sounds like a lot, but it's on Blu-ray, and plus it has all the movies in it, you know. So I thought it was worth it, but I just had the one movie. Um, but yeah, when it comes to the movies that I want, I like to have the full collection. Like I have all the Spider-Man movies
Hmm.
on DVD, but um, but I don't have them on Blu-ray. I like to keep them in the same format too, so it's just not weird. So it's like I have Spider-Man 3 on DVD, but I have Spider-Man 2 on Blu-ray, and so I like to keep it in the same format, but I like to have the whole set. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Um, so yeah, but I'm not one of those people that's like, oh, I just because I don't like Spider-Man 3 doesn't mean that I don't want to have the full series or the full collection of
True.
movies.
Yeah.
Plus I do movie reviews, so if I need to use a movie for my collection and I want to do a review of it on here, then I need the movie to use. And if I don't have a physical copy, then I just got to download a copy or steal a copy from like Pirate Bay or something like that. And I don't want to do that.
Mm.
So it's better to have a physical copy, I think, of movies. And what is your thoughts on physical media, like DVDs and Blu-rays and stuff like that?
Oh, I hate streaming services. I'm gonna be very honest about that. I hate them, and I'm tired of people saying that buying DVDs and Blu-ray is a waste of money.
I don't know very many people who I don't know anybody who says that about their waste of money. I think it's good to have a physical copy um, of certain of movies. To have a DVD, not only to have like a TV with like a Blu-ray player or a DVD player and stuff like that, but like Blu-ray, like having a DVD player, like
Hmm.
the one you can take to travel with and everything.
Yeah.
You know, you might not always get like if you go on camping or something like that. Well, you might not get any signal where you are to go camping, right? But you have a DVD player, and or you have your laptop, and you can't use the Wi-Fi. Well, you can just pop in a DVD of whatever and watch that. Um, and the bad thing about Netflix, well, Netflix they used to have the movies through the mail. You used to buy the movies through the mail, and they
Yep.
would send them to you. I don't know if you remember that, but
Uh,
do you remember that?
well, I don't remember that specifically, but I do remember Blockbuster. And
Blockbuster. We had Family Video in Hastings. Is what we had over here.
I had Family Video too, but Blockbuster was big where I live. So
Right, right. And I get that. A lot of Blockbuster they cater more to the family. They didn't cater to like the people like who like grisly horror movies or trying to find that obscure movie that you won't find anywhere else. They kind of cater to the family atmosphere,
Hmm.
and so you're not going to find a movie like Cannibal Holocaust at a Blockbuster.
No.
And Lloyd Kaufman, he talked about that. He said Blockbuster didn't. He doesn't like Blockbuster because he makes Lloyd Kaufman is the creator of Troma, and Troma makes these kind of exploitative, kind of bad movies that are very bloody and disturbing and stuff like that, but kind of like parodies
Hmm.
of certain movies. And they never made it. They never catered his movies, or they never put his movies in their store. So he hates the Blockbuster because they screwed him over because nobody would buy his movies, or not a big chain like that. They couldn't buy his movies there, and so he uh, he kind of hates the video rental thing or places like that who they don't want to carry a wide variety of movies. They want to keep their things so limited. You know, I think these video places. I think they should carry all kinds of movies. They carry the B movie crap, or they carry the newest movie they have out there, and they carry the B movie crap. But they should carry all different types of those. The range they need to have like the really gore movies. Those really kind of intense movies, but they also need to have like Tinkerbell goes to the cotton candy forest. You know that spectrum. That's what they need. They don't need to limit themselves to just the family atmosphere. All right.
Um, I do know that they had horror movies, but obviously not Cannibal Holocaust.
Right. They did have horror movies, but they did not have the selection um like other video stores did because they wanted to have that. They wanted to cater to the family, you know,
Yeah.
the the family deal, and so they kind of put it. They put out the safe stuff. They put you had your Shining and you had your Friday the 13th, but you
Mhm.
didn't have those movies. You didn't have the movies that people are like, oh wow, this is one of the scariest movies you ever seen, and they're like, oh, you can't go get it at Blockbuster because it shows boobs for 15 minutes, or for 5 minutes of the movie,
Uh,
there's like a naked scene, or like movies like Slumber Party Massacre.
yeah.
I don't know if it's Slumber. Yeah, I think it's Slumber Party Massacre. There's literally a whole like a 5 to 10 minute scene of just girls showering in that movie,
Yeah.
and so that's not a movie that they would have in that store. But like Family Video, they have a adult film section.
Hmm.
So yeah,
Do y'all still have the family video?
it closed down not too long
Okay.
ago. Actually, it closed down about a month or so ago.
Hmm.
I was not. It's not in my city where I'm at. It's like the city over, and I was not able to go there and see if I could find any used DVDs and stuff. I've been going to Goodwill and trying to find some movies. They got some good titles.
Yeah.
I got The Town is like an action movie, bank robbery movie. I got The Town for pretty cheap, and The Italian Job, and I got The Hateful Eight because we talked about Quentin Tarantino. I got the Hateful Eight there as well.
That's a good one.
It is. I'm actually watching the extended cut on Netflix right now because I just have
Oh.
the regular version.
Hmm.
Right. So
The is it the chopped up one into
it's like
different?
different episodes.
Yeah. Um.
It's like different episodes. Yeah. Um, but I like physical media because physical media you own it and you never have to like rent it. Like I
Mhm.
have I don't own the Netflix account that I use, which is weird. It's my friend's Netflix account, and so I will look on there and watch a movie. Like I hadn't watched the Hateful Eight, even though I own the physical copy. I don't have the extended copy or whatever or the extended cut, I guess, of that movie.
Mhm.
And so I'm starting to watch that to see if it's a little bit different from the movie itself. And it's probably a couple hours. It's probably like another hour and a half more of show than I think than the movie that we get in the theatrical version. I guess you would say. At least I would hope so.
Yeah. The actual movie itself, the regular version on Netflix is I'd say almost 2 hours, maybe over, maybe. And the chopped up version into episodes, each episode is at least 45 to 50 minutes. And
Right.
there are four, I'm pretty sure.
Right. Yeah.
So that's pretty long.
I'm surprised they haven't done that to Inglorious Bastards, because Inglorious Bastards is in different. It's in sections as well, right?
I'm not a fan of that one.
You don't like that one?
No, uh Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, Hateful Eight, and Pulp Fiction. Those are the only three Tarantino movies I actually enjoy.
I get that.
I can
Um,
watch all three of those in one day without getting up and to do anything.
well, it'll take you a day to watch all three of those. That's the bad thing. Okay. Hi, welcome back, Ghost. Um, yeah, I have Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, The Hateful Eight. Um, I think I have another one. I don't think I have all the Tarantino movies, but I do want to have all the Tarantino movies. I have another one. If you haven't seen, he did it with Robert Rodriguez. Oh, I have Grindhouse too.
I've
The
seen
grind,
Grindhouse.
the Grindhouse movies. Those
I
are kind of interesting. They're not my favorite of his movies.
I like both of them, but I prefer Rodriguez. I prefer his movie.
The
Uh,
Planet Terror.
yeah, it's just more interesting to me.
It is different. It is different for sure.
Very.
From Dusk Till Dawn, the first one, the one at the top right here,
Hmm.
with Tarantino and George Clooney. Um, that's an interesting uh, movie. It's about vampires, and Tarantino he plays a creepy guy who likes to lick feet.
I've actually seen that too.
You have, yeah.
Yeah.
What do you think about that?
Uh, well, I saw it at a young age, which probably wasn't a good thing.
Yeah,
But I enjoyed it.
yeah. It's an interesting movie. It has Harvey Keitel,
Hmm.
which is one of Tarantino's staples in his movies.
Yep.
Same with Martin Scorsese. He's in like every Martin Scorsese movie. If it hadn't have been for Harvey Keitel, we would have never got Reservoir Dogs.
True.
So, um, have you not seen Reservoir Dogs or anything or those
I
movies?
watched it maybe a month ago because I had a list of movies that I hadn't seen, and I had seen it, but I had tried watching it like 4 or 5 years ago, and at the time I hadn't seen Hateful Eight or Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, obviously because it wasn't out yet,
Right.
and,
Yeah.
and
Yeah. The I have the Hateful Eight and everything, and I have Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. To me, I like Once Upon a Time in Hollywood because, like I said, and how Tarantino puts it, it's a time capsule, and
mhm,
I think the movie, I think it's fun, especially when it comes to the ending.
yes,
But also, like, it's also like uh, seeing all the references and stuff that he puts in there, and how much effort he puts into a movie, like how much effort he puts into like the character of Rick Dalton. Like he said he made like 5 episodes of Bounty Law, even though it's not a real show. But he said he like wrote 5 episodes of Bounty Law just to write for the character of Rick Dalton.
yeah.
That's
I,
dedication.
I want to see that to be totally honest with you. I want to see Bounty Law, but I don't think he's gonna do it.
I think I think he should do it. I think that would be amazing. I don't know. He wouldn't put it on like Disney Plus because Disney kind of fucked him over with the Hateful Eight because when Star Wars was coming out, which was 2015, when the Hateful Eight came out,
Mhm.
they um they made him push his movie back later in theaters to come 2 weeks after Star Wars, so more people would go see Star Wars than the Hateful Eight.
honestly, I wish people would have gone to see the Hateful Eight over Star Wars because we've already seen Star Wars 1,000 times.
Right. Well, Star Wars, the new movie, The Force Awakens, when that came out, so
Yeah,
that was going to be really big, and so Disney wanted to have the whole theater, or the specific theater that he was using. They Disney wanted to show it for the entire holiday season
yeah,
of when the movie was coming out. And this particular theater, they wanted, like, no, we're gonna have we had a deal with this, with Tarantino and everything, and then Disney threatened to never show their Disney properties, which is like, that's Marvel. You got Star Wars. You got
yeah,
all the animated movies. To never show a Disney movie in what they have called ArcLight theaters, which is like IMAX,
yeah.
and so never show their movies in IMAX at any of their locations. So if you wanted to see Star Wars in IMAX, you couldn't see it if they had an IMAX facility, because they wanted to push because they wanted to you know stay with the contract what they originally had. But Disney, you know, and Disney just trying to get that money. I mean, the
Definitely.
company's like worth like over like worth billions of dollars.
They're
I think
gr-
they can afford.
they're greedy.
Yeah, yeah. Especially with this whole paying $40 to watch a movie on uh, Disney Plus Premium,
Hmm.
or which paying for Disney Plus is fine because there's a lot of movies on there and everything, and which I think is fine. But having a movie say, "Hey, we have this streaming service. We put a new movie out." I think the only reason why they did it is so they can make their money back. Because if people want to see the Mulan movie when it came out, and they want to see it before it comes to theaters, well, they'll pay the $30 for a premium fee or whatever, you know. Versus, I guess it would be cheaper than going to the movie theater, and that's probably somebody's excuse. It's like, well, it's cost me this much to go to the movie theater and everything like that, you know.
Yeah,
But I think the bad thing about the reason why I like going to the movie theater is you're committed to going there and watching the movie. Like, you're committed to sitting there for however long the movie is, eating popcorn, and you go to the movie theater because you want to experience the movie how it should be, and it should be, on the big screen. You should experience the movie on the big screen. Like, I don't want to see Black Widow. Like, if I want to go see Black Widow or the Avengers movie, like, I don't want to see it. I don't want to watch it just sitting in my TV, over here and watching the movie for the first time. Like, I want to experience it on the big screen. I want to experience it sitting in the movie theater with, packed movie theater with fans and stuff like that. That's how I went and saw Endgame. I went and saw it when Endgame came out. Our
yeah.
theater was completely full. I went to go see it with a friend, and it was completely packed and sold out every showing they had that night. It sold out completely, and it was that big of a deal. Like, my friend, because I went to go see it with a friend of mine, but I had another friend who was working at the theater, and he said it was nonstop for he said it was nonstop for hours. People coming in to go see Endgame, and it was like everybody was going to go see that movie. And so, like, I want to experience stuff like that, like how people went to go see Star Wars back in the day.
Hmm.
Like, I want to experience that, and that's kind of like what we had. Not so much where people were like dressing up and stuff like that, but it was a bit of an experience going to see that many people to go see one movie and see an entire theater just packed to the brim with people. There's literally people standing on the in the on the side. Like, people were like standing and like sitting on the ground, like watching the movie. Like, I don't know why they would do that, but yeah.
That I can understand though. Against Star Wars, uh, like if Tarantino was going against Disney when it came to Endgame, then I can understand why Disney wants to put their movie in the theater.
Right. It
But
was it was much more, but like, when it comes to Star Wars, I mean, it was a big deal because it was coming back. Like, there was like a revamp of the series, and everybody was gonna go see it.
yeah, I only prefer the original trilogy. That's why I say that wouldn't be worth seeing in the theater. Force Awakens.
Have you seen any of the other ones other than
I,
the original trilogy?
yes, and when I was little, I liked them, but as I've gotten older, I think they're just CGI messes, I guess.
Right. I did you watch the original cuts of Star Wars, like the VHS copy of Star Wars, or did you watch the remastered cuts, the remastered versions that came out in the '90s with the CGI and add-ons to it?
Um, yeah, the original trilogy I watched on VHS, but the Phantom Menace and the other ones, I don't even care for their names, to be honest.
Right.
I watched them on DVD, and I didn't like them near as much as I like the original trilogy.
I I feel bad that Star Wars: The Rise of Skywalker is the only Star Wars movie that I own on Blu-ray. It was
Mm.
a gift, but it was the only movie that I own on Blu-ray that's a Star Wars movie, and it's a crime because I didn't really care for that movie. Okay. Um. Anyway, is anybody still watching? Please say hi in the chat. Oh, there you are.
The phone actually kicked me out of the
Uh
stream.
oh, that's not good. My computer does that to me sometimes. If the internet goes out, it does that too. So don't worry about it. Yeah, I just thought you left. I was like, okay. Um, no, I figured it's probably internet connection issue or something.
My phone actually has like a tendency to just kick me out of stuff.
Right,
Like I'll be on Instagram texting you or whoever, and it just throws me out.
right. My TV does that. Like sometimes I'll be on YouTube, right, and then
Mhm.
I'll uh I'll like go to watch a video. I'm on a video, and then like let's go back to the main page, to the main YouTube page, right? And then
Yeah.
I'll click on it, and it'll take me back to the home screen of Roku, and I'm just like, damn it! And so that's kind of irritating. Or you pause a movie, you have a movie pause too long, and then
Yep.
it kicks you out of the streaming service or whatever you're using.
Yeah, I
Uh,
hate that.
but um, but yeah, Star Wars. I only Blu-ray that I have of Star Wars is The Rise of Skywalker, and I didn't even like that movie.
I
I thought it
don't
was boring. I thought it was boring.
I don't blame you.
Did you watch it?
I've seen bits and pieces of it, and the only reason I wanted to see it for some reason was because Lando was in it for a couple minutes.
I didn't. I think the last couple of Star Wars movies have been kind of underwhelming. Like I was really excited to see Star Wars: The Force Awakens when it came out. I was like
Yeah.
really excited to see that because it was a new Star Wars movie. It was the first time I ever seen one in theaters, so it was a little bit of an experience for me because it was my how people watch Star Wars back in the day to go see it in the theaters.
Hmm.
That was my experience, and like I said, it was one of those times where theater was packed, it was busy, it was popping, and it was like I said, it was an experience. But my favorite is Rogue One. That's my favorite Star Wars movie,
Hmm.
which is a weird opinion, but that's my favorite Star Wars movie. I just thought it was something different from the original trilogy. Like it didn't have anything to do with Anakin or Luke Skywalker or anything like that. It was its own story, and it was um, I don't know. It was just something different. It didn't really have anything to do with the main characters of any of the other movies. And I watched Solo, and I didn't really care for
Hmm.
Solo either because
No.
it and how people say is like everything that happened to him that he talks about in the movie happened to him with like the course of like a week and everything. I'm just like, yeah, I guess, yeah, that is true.
Yeah, my teacher last year, at towards the end of the year, he made us watch Solo, and I walked out the room quickly and went to a different classroom.
Yeah. He just lets you walk out of the room,
Well,
or it was just like in the school.
yeah, it was like a week before we got out, and we were just doing whatever. And he's like, "I'm gonna turn on a movie." He goes through a list of movies and clicks on Solo, and I was like, "Nope, I'm not staying in here."
Yeah, I don't blame you. Yeah, a lot of movies. The bad thing is a lot of teachers overplay movies like Moana when Moana came out,
Yeah.
and we were trying to find a movie to watch. It's like let's watch Moana, and every classroom I went to, they were playing Moana.
See, unfortunately, the teacher I'm referring to is a history teacher.
Oh,
So Solo was the only movie that was non-history that we'd seen basically through the whole year. We had to watch Saving Private Ryan.
they let y'all watch that at your
Y-
school?
Yeah, he did. He's a cool person. We watched that. We watched huh, a few other historical movies because that's mainly all he wanted to show us.
Right. I remember in a couple of history classes I had, we watched Glory, the movie,
Mhm.
or not Glory. We didn't watch Glory. We watched Lincoln because we couldn't watch Glory because they said the N word too much, and so teachers said, "Oh, we got to find something else." So we ended up watching Lincoln, which was had Daniel Day Lewis. He plays a good Lincoln. Um, he We watched that, and I think it's my English class. This year we watched Murder on the Orient Express. This is closer to the end of the year. Murder on the Orient Express. We watched that, and then we watched a TV movie of Gulliver's Travels.
Oh God,
We were talking about Gulliver's Travels, and so we watched a TV movie of that, not the Jack Black movie.
a cheaper version,
Yeah,
basically.
it was no, it was really like there was a lot of it looked like a TV movie. It didn't look like a film, but it was in um it was very high quality. Like the quality of the show, like the effects, because Gulliver he changes sizes and stuff
Yep.
in the story, and the effects and stuff that they did for the movie, they look really good for it being a being a TV movie and everything. Um, yeah, that's one of the good things about school. Now is like you can find a movie to watch. You can find a movie to watch on Netflix and just throw that on, and that'll keep the class entertained if the teacher's not there or something.
See something surprising. There was one day where I convinced him to let us watch The Irishman
Oh,
because he had a website where it blocks out certain scenes and blocks out cursing and all that stuff.
hmm.
So we watched a kid-friendly version of The Irishman.
What was it, like 10 minutes long?
No, it was still the same length, but everybody got bored of it. Of course, I was the only person excited that we were watching it because I've seen that 3 times already.
I have The Irishman on Blu-ray over here on Criterion Collection.
Awesome.
Yeah, it is. It's really good. I was sad they didn't do it in theater, or they didn't put it in theaters. I was so bummed out that I found out it was on Netflix. I was looking up. I was like, "Is The Irishman going to be in theaters?" And it's like, "Nope, straight to Netflix." I'm like,
I actually watched it the very first night it came on there at 3 a.m.
"Yeah, no." It was the movie where I work. They have a little bit of a movie section, and so I went over there, and I'm like, "Oh crap! They have The Irishman on Criterion Collection." That's like the main Blu-ray they have, which it's a new movie. You would think they wouldn't have it on the Criterion.
Yeah.
Um, but I saw that I was like, I gotta get that, so I bought the movie, and I just got Wrath of Man and the new Mortal Kombat movie um,
Ah,
at my store too. Um, if anybody is um, if anybody is listening, I have movie codes for Nobody, Mortal Kombat, and Wrath of Man. So if you guys guess my favorite. If you can guess my favorite Tarantino movie, You guess it in the comments below, then I will give you a code to one of the movies that I have, if you want that. If any of those movies intrigue you, Nobody is really good. So I'd recommend getting that one. But
It is pretty good, yeah.
mhm. Did you go see that in theaters when it came out?
No, unfortunately not.
Yeah. No, I
But
got that. I got that one too on Blu-ray.
I did see it day one. I'm not gonna say how.
You pirated online.
Kinda, yeah.
Yep. I I don't do that.
Yeah.
I think the only thing, no, technically I paid for them,
Mhm.
but I have the Halloween movies. There's a website where you can download copies of movies, like full length movies,
Yeah.
and you can download the movies. I got the Halloween collection, like all the Halloween movies, and
Mm.
it was only $11 to download the links to the movies, and now I have the movies on download. But I paid for them. I didn't steal them. I didn't pirate them or anything like that. But I have the movies,
See,
um, like in full length, like on
see,
saved on my computer.
uh, in the middle of last year, my science teacher let us have a fun day or whatever, and she turned a movie on, and I noticed that it wasn't on Netflix, it wasn't on Hulu, anything like that. And so I asked her what she was using, and she told me. I looked it up on our computers, on my computer, and started using the site. And after about 3 to 4 weeks, the school banned the site. And so I've been using the website to watch movies for the past like 7 months now. I don't feel bad about it either. It's just
We had that on my old school. They had a much laxer way you can access stuff on the internet, like YouTube. Like at my current school that I was going at, they had computers and stuff, but you couldn't watch like any videos that had any like you couldn't go to like listen to like Slipknot on your school computer. You had to download you had to download Spotify on your laptop to be able to listen to any of the music.
uh, something funny. Before the site got taken down, I actually watched Machete on on the computer, and
Machete
my
kills.
teacher did not care one bit. Like she was totally fine with it.
I guess if you get in trouble, it's you're taking your own risk because the
Hmm?
school they can go back and see all the stuff that you have on your deal. So if you look up anything questionable on there, it'll they'll call you into question.
I,
Um, but I don't think they're worried about that. I think they're more worried about you don't break the fucking thing
for
uh,
real.
than looking up movies than going to www.123freemovies.com and watching Pulp Fiction on there while you're in math class.
Um, the thing though, like technically, it's illegal to do, but if it's illegal, then why hasn't the site been taken down? Why haven't other sites been taken down?
Right.
If they're so bad,
Well, it's not illegal. I mean, it's a service. The
yeah,
service is you get to watch free movies online, and that's the
yeah. But Disney Plus expected me to pay this morning to watch the Loki finale, but instead I watched it for free. So
well. Then you found an easy way you found your way around to. You had to pay to watch the finale of a TV show on there.
I'm just meaning paying in general. Like I don't have Disney Plus.
Right. Well, yeah. Well, Disney Plus, you have to pay for Disney Plus, but there's apps like Tubi. You can watch free movies. Not every movie you can watch is free on there, but Peacock they have ways you can watch free movies. I just watched The Mystery Men
Hmm.
on there.
I like Mystery
Um,
Men.
it's very unique.
Yeah.
Um, um, yeah, it was kind of weird watching that or seeing the Smash Mouth YouTube because the video for All Star is for that movie. Is
Hmm.
from that movie. So when you watch the video for All Star, you always think of Shrek, but it's from a totally different movie.
Yeah, I don't know how people uh like I don't know how people didn't know that already.
Well, I
Uh,
think people always think of it from Shrek because I mean, kids who grew up, they're like, oh, it's
true.
like, oh, hey, now you're an all star because it's at the beginning of the movie, and
Yeah.
so people are like, oh, that's the song from Shrek and not the song from a completely other movie, and so they don't watch the video, they just listen to the song, and that
And
song's probably not from that movie, but that's where the video is from. I don't know if it was, but
yeah, Mystery Men. I actually saw that when I was like 14, and for some reason I loved it.
I
Like,
just saw it this year. I just saw it this year and everything. And I mean, I liked it. It was just different. It was not what I was expecting.
yeah,
Um,
it's not your occasional
tip,
superhero movie.
it's not your typical superhero movie.
Yeah,
Yeah. Um, there's a there's always a big back and forth when it comes to the superhero movies. People seem to people seem to really like people seem to really like the what do you call it? I'm trying to think.
the
People
exact
seem
same formula.
right. People, no, people seem to really like the Dark Knight trilogy.
Mhm.
I like Batman. Don't get me wrong, but I am not been a fan. I'm not a fan of the Dark Knight trilogy as much as everybody else is.
I'm not
But
either.
everybody else seems to really like the Dark Knight. And I have a video that I'm gonna make. I'm making pretty soon. 10 movies that I hate that
Mhm.
everybody else. I don't hate that movie, but 10 movies I hate that everybody else loves.
Yeah.
And I put Dark Knight on there. I don't hate that movie, mind you, but it's everybody else seems to love it more than I do. And it's for like they say, oh, Heath Ledger does a really good performance and everything. And you're right, but I just feel like the movie's just been so overhyped
Very.
and everything.
When it comes to that trilogy, the only one I actually like is Batman Begins, and you're right. The Dark Knight was overhyped
And
and
the Dark Knight Rises to me was just boring.
very boring. We had to watch that in class a couple years ago.
I thought I actually like I'm with you. I like Batman Begins better. I thought it was
Mhm.
a good origin story. It was different from we haven't really seen how he became Batman. We know why he became Batman because he's trying to avenge his parents, but we don't know how he did all the training and stuff to be Batman, you know,
Mhm.
and so it was a good. I think it was a kind of a good origin story. Plus, it's a different villain. It introduced us a different villain, not Joker.
Yeah.
Um, so, and then we got Joker in the next movie, but it was a different villain than what we're used to, or they didn't just go for like some the main ones. They went for kind of a they went for Ra's al Ghul, which is not the first villain I would think of for
No.
Batman to be fighting in their new series of movies that they're making to make. So it was a bold move on the studio to do that, but I like that one more than I like the other ones. The other ones just seem way too like it seems the first of the Dark Knight trilogy, it seems like it's its own movie, and
Mhm.
then the other movies they seem like they're, just big studio movies. The
Yeah.
other one seemed like an independent Batman movie, even though
I
it was a big studio movie, but it just seems had a different feel than the other ones.
I agree with that.
Yeah,
Uh, Also, whenever those came out, I wasn't familiar with Christopher Nolan, and I just didn't like the overly realistic take on Batman. I was actually used to seeing Michael Keaton's Batman and the other two that people don't like talking about.
they talk about Ben Affleck and
No, no, not.
they talk about Christian Bale and not Christian Bale. What do you call it? What's his name? Val Kilmer and George Clooney.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and, yeah, those I didn't really care so much for George Clooney, but I thought Val Kilmer was okay. He was actually the first Batman movie I saw all the way through was Batman Forever,
Mm.
and it wasn't like by choice or anything. It's a funny coincidence, I guess. But everybody hates it. I think it looks not like it. It looks nice, like the colors and everything. It kind of looks nice. It's
Yeah,
not the best Batman movie, but it looks
ex-
nice.
I like the visual style of it,
Right. Um,
and not really everything that happens in it, just the creativity of the world of Gotham.
right. And I'm trying to think. Um, the Jim. What'd you think of Jim Carrey as the Riddler?
Uh, well, it's over the top, but that's not a bad thing, though.
The original Riddler was over the top. Like
Yeah.
the guy who played the Riddler in the '60s Batman series, Frank
Mm-hmm.
Orshin, he was a little over the top as the Riddler. Not so much as Jim Carrey, but he was like the giggly kind of character that Jim Carrey does in the movie, like kind of crazy, you know.
Yeah.
Um, the Penguin, however, in the Keaton Batman is a different, definitely tonally darker than what the '60s Batman did and everything. And I actually really like it. I like I like the sequel to Batman, the '89 Batman.
Mm-hmm.
I like that one, but I like the '89 Batman better. You
Okay.
know, I maybe that's just an opinion, but I like Michael Keaton's Batman better. Plus, I like Mike Jack Nicholson's Joker better than Heath Ledger's, which
So
is
do I.
a bit of a weird opinion because some people's like, oh, Heath Ledger played the best Joker. Well, I mean, I think Jack Nicholson he played a more realistic version of. I think he played a more realistic version of the Joker.
Yeah. I,
Like,
I
I don't know.
I don't understand why people go for Heath Ledger's Joker, and they always bring up uh, how he won an Oscar for it and dying after the movie or in the middle of the movie and all this stuff.
Yeah, it was sad. It was bad circumstances. But I think Jack Nicholson's Joker is more. He's kind of like he's a bad guy. He's a straight up bad guy. He was jealous. Um, he was jealous that these people were um, that these people were trying to use him, and he didn't. And he was being taken advantage of. And he was a mobster. He wasn't like he wants just chaos or some stupid like that. Like he was a mobster. He was a bad guy. Like he was a real bad guy. Like Heath Ledger's Joker, he kind of looks cool,
Hmm.
but you really don't. I mean, I really don't understand his motivations. Um,
Me neither.
Joker in the original Joker, the '89 Joker, he's a bad guy. Um, he's trying to just trying to do his thing, and then Batman comes in. Batman tries to save Joker, but he doesn't, and then he blames Batman for the reason why he looks the way he does, and then now he wants to make people the way he looks, and so that's his revenge. That's what he's doing, and then he's Batman tries to stop him, you know, and he's very manipulative, and people want to think he's a good guy, and so he tries to get the people of Gotham on his side. He's trying to manipulate them with money, and it shows the value of the people is the people of Gotham are um, they value money over their own safety. So they know with all this stuff going around, like people dying from the cosmetics and everything. Then you get this guy with like green hair and stuff getting money. So these people value money over greed, and it's commentary on the time. I guess it's commentary on the time, kind of like American Psycho is a commentary on '80s greed
Yep.
and stuff like that. Maybe I'm just reading too far into it, but
Uh,
I like it better.
I wanted to bring up the fact that a certain generation only sees Joker as being Heath Ledger and Jared Leto,
Yeah,
and I don't like that. And I wish people younger than us knew my Jack Nicholson's Joker.
Right. Yeah. Or even Cesar Romero, who did the Joker in the '60s TV series. It was a different take on the Joker, but it's kind of like how the comic books wrote him. But the comic books have changed over the years. So Cesar Romero resembles an early version of the Joker, or what he was like initially written as, and then as the years go on, the Joker's become more dark because the comic books become more dark.
Yeah,
And so as the years go on, these companies or these studios and stuff, they'll make a Joker um over the most recent comic books and stuff that come out. That's what they're going to go for. Like, what did you think about Joaquin Phoenix's Joker?
oh, uh, it's probably an unpopular opinion, but I personally think that the movie resembles Taxi Driver in a way.
Yeah, that's what everybody was saying. Everybody was saying it was
Yeah.
kind of like uh, a taxi driver esque movie. You had this guy. He's kind of down on his luck. He's he's restless. He has this disability, I guess if you want to call it his disability, and he can't do anything about it. And then these people are just tearing him apart, losing his job. Um, and then his mom is sick and everything. And then he tries to take care of the people who have wronged him, or the people who are bad. He tries to get rid of the bad people. And he kills those guys. He kills those guys on the subway, but he's doing it for a nice reason. He's trying to save the girl and everything. He didn't just kill those guys because he's a psychopath or just kill the girl and everything. He was
Uh,
doing it because he was trying to save her. But people just think he's just some brutal killer and everything. It's just the the way society looks on these people. Like, oh, he shot four guys in a subway, but they weren't there. They didn't see the whole thing play out. So now he's just a killer and he's not a hero.
True. Yeah.
And people chalk it up as society has dwindled down so bad that these people are killing people in the subway and everything, and they don't see him as the hero. They see him as the what society makes, and what society has made people, and the rich will do nothing about it and
Yeah.
everything. And people, I think it's also for people who have a disability, people who have disability. It's sad, but people tend to frown on, or people tend to make fun of, or frown on people who have a disability, or look different upon them because they look a certain way, or they act a certain way. They have different ticks. I once dated a girl who she had Tourette's, and
Mm.
so she would make verbal. She had verbal Tourette's. She didn't have physical Tourette's. And verbal Tourette's, she would whistle really loud, like
Yeah.
she would like scream really loud, and it would scare the shit out of you if you weren't expecting it. And so people make fun of her for it, and it's kind of sad. Um, so it's showing how people live with their disabilities and how people look on them, and it shows how society tends to think different of people when they're not given the full story. When they're not given the full details, and how
Yeah.
people are so quick to react, not on
Mm.
both sides too. The people who are powerful or whatever, trying to say, "Oh, the city is corrupt and everything," and then you have the people who are his followers or whatever, who are like, yeah, we need to take down these business guys. We need to do all this stuff, and I would say it's commentary on modern day society as well. I think it's more prevalent now than ever. Um, like with news, like cancel culture or whatever, has really fucked a lot of people up.
Yeah.
You know, and there's some people who need to be put in check with their actions, but then media and people are so quick to react to a story when it breaks, like Johnny Depp and Amber Heard and spousal abuse scandal.
Yeah.
People are so quick to think that it was Johnny Depp, but as a matter of fact, it was his wife.
Yeah. It was.
And
It was not Johnny Depp at all.
it wasn't Johnny Depp.
Mm.
And so I'm like, damn, did he actually do that? I mean, it sucks, that's what happened to him. But she's still doing her shows and movies and stuff like that. And he's
Mm-hmm.
there, like he lost his job, like Disney, like kicked him out of the Pirates franchise. I don't know if they hired him back. They should, because that would be shitty if they don't.
Yeah, he was replaced uh, for Fantastic Beasts 3 or whatever it's called. The Harry Potter spin-off movie. He plays a evil wizard or whatever. They replaced him.
Grindelwald.
Yeah.
Yeah. Um, yeah, and that sucks. That he should get his job back. I don't think the other person should keep it just because all this stuff came to light. Amber Heard gets to keep her job, and she was the abuser in that scenario. I think she should get fired because Disney wants to be like, oh, we don't want to do work with people who there's Disney and all that stuff. They don't want to do work with people who abuse their wives. Well, it's the same thing as spousal abuse. It's just the gender sex. So there's a bit of an inequality there, and Disney needs to put their values in check. It's either you got to fire the person who is the abuser, and then you get to fire the person who is their abuser, or you need to give the person who was lied to from the get go,
Hmm.
who lied, who people wanted to assume that he was doing that, give him his job back because that kind of sucks. Because she gets to work and he's just there, just kind of just getting all the shit from it, and so it sucks that's good. But there are people like R. Kelly, who have done really bad stuff and everything, who deserve to be in jail, or he abused, all the girls and everything, and Chris Brown, they serve their time and everything, and that's what they should do. And it doesn't matter what sex you are, gender, what female, male, female, whatever you identify as, gay, straight, doesn't matter. You should be. And we talked about this on my other stream I did the other day, talking about people who, if you do the crime, you do the time. You know that saying. And
Hmm.
and so if you whatever a female or whatever a male would get for a spousal abuse like Amber Heard was doing, whatever a male would get, she should get as well. So if she was to get arrested for it, or she was to go do prison time, then she should get whatever Johnny Depp would have got if he would have went to jail for that. Don't you think?
Yeah, and the only reason she's not, unfortunately, is because she's a female. I guess.
And that's not
Uh,
coming from. That's not a sexist. I'm not trying to be sexist by any means. I'm just like it's
yeah,
true.
very true.
Like it's true. So unfortunately,
Because if he was the one abusing her, he would already be in prison or
right? He would have been,
whatever.
and he would have been rightfully fired from Disney, and I can
Yeah.
understand that. But when she was the abuser and she didn't get to lose her job, she gets to still keep her job and do her stuff for DC and everything.
Hmm.
I don't know. It sucks, but they're all about equality. Everybody's all about equality now. Where's the equality? Where's the equality in that? There is no. But yeah. Anyway, I think the with that Joker movie, it's a commentary on modern day society and how people look at one another and tend to judge before they get all the facts. But anyway, um, I was got a message. I got a message. I have to go. Um, I have to go do something. So, um, I
Okay.
guess I've been talking way too much. I apologize for
That's all right.
cutting you off and everything. Um, yeah. Yeah. If any of y'all are watching, I doubt it. But if any of y'all see this, the Instagram handle is in the title, and also I'll put a link in the description. Um, do you have anything else that you would like to put out there? Any Facebook or anything like that? Or do you have YouTube or anything?
No, I had a YouTube channel, but uh, I decided not to do that anymore.
Okay. All right. But if you ever feel like you want to come back on here, my channel and everything is in my channel bio on my Instagram and stuff. So yeah,
All right.
feel free to stop by and we'll do another live stream or whatever. But
All
yeah,
right.
thank you for coming on, and thank you guys for checking us out, and hope to see you next time. Thank you. Bye.
Thank you.